There are people who wake up at 5 a.m., hit their goals before lunch, and stay consistent for years. And then there are people who keep saying, I just don't feel motivated. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Laziness isn't your problem. It's just the symptom. And if you understand the 5 rules you're about to hear, something strange will happen. You won't need motivation anymore, because laziness won't even get the chance to exist in your life. But the first rule might actually make you uncomfortable, because it destroys the idea that you need more discipline at all, and instead replaces it with something far more powerful, something most people never figure out until it's too late. But before that, you need to understand what laziness actually is. It's not what you think. Laziness is not a personality trait. It's not who you are. It's a pattern of avoidance your brain learned to protect you from discomfort. Every time you delay something important, your brain gets a small reward, relief. No stress, no pressure, no effort. And over time, your brain starts choosing relief over growth automatically. That's why discipline feels hard at first, but impossible later. But here's where everything changes. Because the people who break this cycle don't try harder. They follow rules. And rule number 1 is where everything collapses or transforms. Every decision you make during the day drains your mental energy. What should I do first? When should I start? Should I do it now or later? Each question weakens your discipline. Highly disciplined people don't rely on decisions. They rely on systems. They don't wake up and decide to work out. They wake up and execute a pre-decided routine. They don't ask if they feel like working. They already removed the option not to. And here's the twist. Laziness survives in gaps. Gaps in decisions. Gaps in structure. Gaps in clarity. Close the gaps, and laziness has nowhere to live. But even if you remove decisions, there's another enemy waiting, and it's even more dangerous. Your brain will always lie to you right before important work. It says, wait until you feel ready. Wait until you have energy. Wait until the timing is right. But readiness is a myth your mind uses to protect comfort. High performers don't wait for readiness. They use a 5-second rule of action. They move before resistance builds. Because here's what most people don't realize. Motivation doesn't lead to action. Action creates motivation. Even 2 minutes of starting breaks the psychological barrier. Once you begin, your brain shifts identity from avoider to actor. But starting is not enough. Because there's a deeper trap most people fall into after they start. And it destroys consistency completely. Rule number 3, make comfort expensive. Your brain is engineered to choose comfort. So if comfort is always available, discipline will always lose. That's why disciplined people redesign their environment. They make distraction harder to access than focus. They remove shortcuts to comfort. Phone out of reach. Social media logged out. Work environment clean and visible. Temptations physically distant. Because willpower is not infinite. And every time you choose comfort over discipline, you train your identity to repeat it. But here's the shift. If comfort becomes inconvenient, your behavior changes automatically. And without realizing it, you begin choosing discipline by default. But even then, there's one rule that separates temporary discipline from permanent identity change. Because it's easy to feel disciplined when everything is calm. But what happens when? You're tired, you're stressed, you're overwhelmed, you feel like quitting. That's where real identity is revealed. And in those moments, most people collapse back into old patterns. But a few don't. And the difference isn't motivation. It's something deeper, something mechanical in how their brain responds to discomfort. And once you understand this, discipline stops being a struggle and becomes automatic. The final integration, why these 5 rules work together. Each rule is not isolated. They form a system. Rule 1 removes decisions. Rule 2 removes hesitation. Rule 3 removes temptation. Rule 4 removes excuses. Rule 5 rewires identity. Together, they don't just improve discipline. They eliminate the conditions where laziness survives. Because laziness doesn't die from motivation. It dies from structure. It dies from identity. It dies from systems that make discipline the easiest option in the room. Most people think discipline is about pushing harder. But real discipline is about designing a life where you don't need to push at all. So the real question isn't, how motivated am I? The real question is, what system am I building that makes discipline inevitable? Because once your environment, identity, and actions align, laziness doesn't disappear. It simply stops having a place to exist. And when that happens, you don't become someone who tries to succeed. You become someone who can't afford not to. If this hit you in a real way, don't just move on and forget it. Like the video so more people can see this message. Subscribe if you want more content that actually changes how you think, not just how you feel. And comment below, which rule hit you the hardest and why?